Design is all around us and incorporated in so much of our daily lives. Today, with our increased interaction with technology, design and the design process play an even bigger part in our lives. The design process consists of 6 steps that can help a designer create a product to solve a problem. The first step of the design process is to understand what the problem is. You need to identify the problems that your user is facing and understand your user. You also need to understand your brand and the missions and goals of your brand and how your brand and your users' needs can align. The second stage of the design process is user research. You need to conduct research in order to know what your user actually wants. This research can be conducted in the form of one-on-one interviews, surveys, or even a focus group. Then you need to analyze this research and make sense of it. A great way to do this is to create a user persona and connect with your user on a deeper level. The fourth step is where you actually start designing. This stage often takes a lot of time because there are so many ways to design a product, and finding the best way often requires you to make more than one wireframe or prototype. The fifth step is to actually launch the product and see how it does with users. Once your product launches, you need to go back and do another round of analysis. At this stage, you need to ask yourself what went right in your process, where you can improve, and how your product is solving the problem for your user. To learn more about how the design process is used practically, I went out and spoke to some local designers who use the process every single day.
I'm a UX designer. I graduated from a UW Interaction Design program last year, and I've been working at a consumer robotics startup in Seattle ever since. We handle food automation, so our flagship product is set to launch later this year. It's a modular platform that enables restaurant owners to create food at basically unprecedented levels of quality and consistency and throughput. So just any sort of like kitchen assembly tasks, stuff like that, really boring, arduous work can be handled by the system. And what I'm doing is taking this kind of technology that we've developed in-house with our brilliant mechanical and software engineers and basically getting it into a place where it can be usable by just anybody, basically.
When you start off with the project, it's really important to comprehend what you are going to design right at the start and not jump into prototyping stage.
Design has a purpose, and so what is that purpose? And for that design, and usually that's based off of who you're designing that for. And so I guess that's the most important thing for me, is figuring out what that purpose is for the design and who you are trying to build the thing for.
Good design should be super obvious. Getting there is not always obvious, but when it works, it should be like, why didn't this exist before? This is so, like, it's a no-brainer.
I think one thing that people should know about the design process overall is that it's not linear. You should always keep your options open. A lot of times I'll be doing a project or whatever, and I'll come up with a prototype that I really am just loving, and I'll kind of show it to the people around me if it's a personal project like my sisters or my mom or something. And they're like, I'm just not feeling it. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And it really is helpful if you do have options from your brainstorming that you did in the beginning that you can kind of incorporate or like kind of start fresh with. Otherwise, you kind of feel stumped, I feel like, and you feel really blocked and choked up.
If you're planning on going to user experience design, be very willing to learn and learn fast. But the ability for you to be able to learn quickly and adapt to new tools makes you very valuable in terms of being able to help support the team overall.
I think all aspiring designers should know that if they think that their designs are not good enough and they think that they haven't reached to the solution, to the point where they should be, which is okay because it's a part of a process, and like they say, fail and fail often, and that's how you learn. So, but I can guarantee that you will get to it.
After meeting all of the designers, I learned that each of them has their own unique and different design process, but they all have a structured and strong process, which allows them to create good and effective design.